I needed that. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. It's your girl Farida, aka Curly Proverbs. I am your resident hair growth hype woman, helping you reach the thickness, the length, and the hair health that you have in your goals. We have wonderful testimonials from people who've tried before and succeeded, and I cannot wait for you to start your journey if you're not on it already. So I'm going to be tackling in today's video a question I get all of the time, which is, I am in a routine, but my hair is still not growing. Help. I have got you. So I have some notes here because I really don't want to forget anything, but do you know what I would say the number one reason why people are not experiencing length retention and seeing their overall growth? Because by the way, we need to focus on retaining, because your hair is growing, but it's splitting and breaking at the same rate or faster than it's growing. So therefore you don't actually see any growth or length retention, because as it's growing an inch, it's also breaking an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter. I actually saw that happen in a relative of mine where her hair looked like it shrunk, but basically it had broken off because of the straightening and the hair coloring. So let's talk about taking care of your ends. So one of the things that you really need to do is be super careful with your hair when you are detangling, especially at the ends. We've all been there, right? Moms or grandmas or aunties, when they're detangling our hair or our cousin's hair, and you can see them really tugging that brush through. And we've always had this misconception that because curly, kinkier hair can be thicker and denser in texture, there is the misconception that it's actually stronger. So we're not as gentle as we should be, but we really need to be very gentle in that process. Right, so I would highly recommend, one, using your fingers to detangle. Work from the end backwards and make sure that your ends are oiled or hydrated in some way before you go ahead and detangle. If you think about spaghetti, if you think about dry spaghetti, trying to work with that and how easily that snaps versus spaghetti that is just cooked, only just cooked, a lot more elasticity and bend. It's the same with your hair. The other thing I would say is, if you're going to be using tools such as the tool that I would recommend using if you're going to use a tool would be the Tangle Teaser, the thick and curly one specifically. And if you're going to use a tool, then use it under running water. That really does help with the detangling process. And if you're able to preserve your ends, which is the oldest, most fragile point in your hair, you are going to start seeing gains. Even if it's just a minimum of 6 inches a year, with half an inch every month growing, you should start to see gains. That's not even talking about using accelerants and oiling and massage techniques, even just as basic. So I would encourage you, if you are struggling to retain length and you find a lot of broken hair in your brushes, etc., just use your fingers. Put on a movie, grab yourself your oil or your detangler and take your time. Make that a routine. Friday night movie, no sweat, I'm gonna be detangling my hair while I watch. And that way you're distracted, you have more patience, you allow yourself more time, and therefore you're a lot less likely to break your hair. I highly recommend it. If any of you guys have done that, where you focus on finger detangling as opposed to using tools, and it's helped you to retain length, definitely comment below, because it will encourage other people to know that, you know, it has worked for you. Okay, so next thing that you're possibly not doing is maintaining your moisture and strength balance. So in order for your hair to thrive and not break, it can't be so dry and unhydrated, because that will snap, and it can't be overly hydrated, because then it will overstretch and that will give tension points, and again that can lead to breakage. One of the things I would say, if you're brand new to Ayurveda, you're brand new to a natural hair journey, is to start off by making glosses. It's the perfect balance of moisture and strength. You grab a teaspoon of your favorite Ayurvedic herb, mix it in some water into a paste, and add your favorite like hydrating deep conditioner, maybe a little bit of oil, and use that. You're gonna have the strength from the Ayurvedic herb. So that could be amla, that could be shikaikai, that could be henna. Aloe vera is definitely a more hydrating herb if you feel that you need a double hydration. But for the most part, a strengthening herb plus a hydrating deep conditioner work really, really well together. Then you're gonna stop having a problem of, every time you touch your hair, seeing like broken hair in the sink and on the floor. Put your hands up, guys, hand up emoji if you have gone through that, where you literally, every time you go to tie your hair in a scrunchie or style it in the morning, you look at the sink, you look at the floor, and you've got loads of broken hairs. That could be something that really helps with that. The third thing is maybe you're not being consistent with your routine. I have to say, when I reach and attain my hair length goals, I definitely got lazy. And I could see that the length retention and the perceived growth, or the growth that I was getting, definitely slowed down when compared to the early days where I was like oiling twice a day, scalp massaging daily, all of that good stuff that I was doing literally day after day after day consistently really did get me gains. It's kind of the same as going to the gym, ladies, I know a lot of people say, it's just a thing with Afro hair that you're gonna really struggle to see length retention, that you're really gonna struggle to see that thickness. That's a complete misconception. We just need to be consistent. And there is a stunning, I think she's Vietnamese, a stunning Vietnamese lady that I follow. Check out her channel if you haven't already. And her hair looks like literally Rapunzel, like literally from a fairy tale. And she goes into like her hair journey in a video. She shows how her hair was before. It looked great, but now it looks literally like a caricature. It's ridiculously thick and ridiculously heavy. And what has she got? A routine that she sticks with. She uses rosemary, she uses onion extract, she uses spritzes, she uses rinses, and she is consistent and religious about it. And that's taken her hair from great to literally double take. Is that really all hers kind of hair? The fourth thing is perhaps you are not protecting your ends. Listen, you see all this hair in contact with your clothing? Number one, the clothing is soaking away and is literally has a higher affinity for the oils and moisture in your hair than your hair does. So depending on the fabric, it can be soaking away all the goodness you're trying to put in. So I would recommend, especially when you go to bed at night, that you use a silk pillow, that you keep your hair up and tucked if you are starting your hair growth journey and you really want to see length retention. Because have you ever asked yourself, why is it that most of us only see hair growth up until shoulder length? That's because as soon as it starts coming into contact, at that point where it comes into contact, the hydration is soaked out of your hair and your hair breaks, frays, has friction. So I hope you found that to be useful, guys. Listen, if you're gonna be consistent, if you're gonna give your hair TLC, you're gonna baby your ends, and you're gonna find some good quality Ayurvedic products to use in your hair, plant-based products to use in your hair, then your hair is absolutely going to thrive. There's loads of stuff on social media at the moment that's kind of slating DIYs. And I know some DIYs, some information out there is misinformation. I understand that, but the same can be said of anything, including exercise. But are we gonna stop exercising? So there are people that would prefer and recommend that you use chemical-laden products, but so many of them are linked to health problems. Plant-based goodness is truly the best that there is. So I'm gonna have a link to my store, guys, if you do wanna check that out below. We do carry some essential oils blended specifically for helping you to reach your hair growth goals, whether it's minimizing shedding, thickening your hair, increasing growth rate, or maximizing your own growth rate potential, thickening hair, and we do carry some masks and hair powders as well. So definitely check them out below, and also stop by the blog. We have some interesting articles on oiling, length retention, making up glosses, etc. So until next time, stay blessed.